Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're at. And I'm here with another video. We will be talking about Bitcoin and crypto. And primarily on this video, I'll first focus on Bitcoin because this is so far she's a mother of all coins. She also is the coin that actually all the rest of coins obey. They follow after her direction, and very rarely we'll have coins that actually will run off in front of her, but then when they do, when she turns around and runs down, so do they obey her and run down with her. So let's look at Bitcoin first. You guys probably interested. What the heck am I doing at the monthly chart? We will come back to the monthly chart, but first let's actually start with the weekly chart because there is a lot of people out there saying, "Oh, we're coming to the bottom, we're going to the down." And hey, don't get me wrong, we are. But are we doing that today? Are we doing that tomorrow? Are we doing that on Tuesday or Wednesday? The question: when are we doing? Because all of us are desperate in one answer. When the hell are we going down? Sorry for the language. When you get yourself involved with bad habits, you get develop a bad habit yourself. So apologize, and I hope you guys can forgive me. I am working hard to break stuff that I developed recently. So the question is, what actually really happening? So what do you guys see here on this chart? Is this a hip? Is this a shoulder? Or this is a shoulder? Or maybe we coming up to do a double head? Hey, I cannot tell you guys that this is a shoulder because we had quite a delay here on the side, but it possibly can be. Then we have to shoot up. Let's actually do this. Then we have to shoot up with a head at least to uh, 90,000. Maybe as I was saying, 120,000. But unless this is a double head, which I'm not sure I am ready to say this is a double head, because if this is a double head, that means this is a shoulder. Quite a very small shoulder for a double head. Don't you guys think? Come on, let's be realistic. I understand there are certain people trying to save people from crash, but at the same time, they're preventing people from getting in and taking advantage of the market. Swing trading is a two type. One type you ride it to the top and then you get out. The other one where you trade on a weekly basis. You pick a couple days, you run it up, and you jump out and you look for another rather run. But the real truth is, if this is a double head, this is not a shoulder. So I'm looking at least this is a shoulder. What if this is just a hip and we're going? Okay, now I just screwed up this one. Might as well delete it. So if this is just a hip, we're coming out. We could have a shoulder around 120, the 100, maybe 50, somewhere in that area. And then we come up to around 200. So let's actually draw it out. Where is my tools? Um, oops. Already started. Do apologize. Just not easy operating this chart. So let's say we start from here and we're going to try to build out. So let's say this is a hip. That means our shoulders should be at least at this point around 120, I guess, if that's a hip, which means we're looking at retrace, and then I had around 220, then a retrace, then coming down to about a shoulder, retrace, then we come down to the bottom. So are we possibly looking at this? I'm just asking a question. Like, hey, end of the day, if you guys read the description of the channel, not of the video, even of the video, I say the same thing. This channel is about the common sense. So let's look at it from a common sense. From looking from be realistic. If this is a hip, that means this. Then we're looking towards the shoulder. We're looking towards the head. If this is a double head, that's a very tiny shoulder. So I'm not seeing. Even I might be wrong. Possibly could be this could be a double head, but then we are coming down. But let now look at this. I am suspecting a major crash in all markets to cover up what's happening, what's truly really happening behind the scenes. And if you guys want to know what's really happening, join Discard, and you have description link in the description for that. If that link doesn't work, let me know and I'll replace it with a new one. I believe it still works. But the bottom question is, I'm sorry, go back. So, and I'll tell you where to watch the video, what is coming, and what they're trying to cover up. But now, uh, let's talk about this. I do believe we are having a crash coming. But that means if the crash is coming, and I am right, and this is just a hip, and this is a shoulder, and this is a head, and that means we should be in a hurry to build out a shoulder, which means we might actually have uh, the process might be actually happen really quick, and need to come up to the head. Now, if this turns out to be a shoulder, and this is a head right here, um, then about September, October is when I suspect we should start on um, maybe October, November. It was when I'm suspecting we're gonna start actually working on starting a crash. So that means we need to be in a hurry building this out. Why do I say that? Let's look at the monthly chart. And let's forget all this. I'm going to delete it so you guys can actually, let's even delete this. I don't remember what that is. So let's look at the monthly chart. Because if we suspecting a major crash, shouldn't we see something on a monthly chart? Yeah, I understand. We only have about 20, 24 months of chart, and there's barely anything to see. But shouldn't we see something? And the only thing I'm seeing on this monthly chart that we have 8 days left to reach 58,000. That's right. We have, because today is the 21st, right? 22nd today, which means we have 9 days left to hit 58,000, maybe get a wig up to 65,000, somewhere in that range. Because what we're seeing here, we came down, we kind of stayed balanced. Now we went up. This is candle number one. We haven't went as far enough, but we had a recovery. People are questioning, are we truly going up? So people are still skeptical. But now, the minute we break 50,000, you guys remember the next stop I was saying is 65,000. You know what? Before I was saying about 65,000 based on the feelings. I had no evidence. Now I can show you guys on a chart. 65,000 is this month by the end of this candle. You don't want to believe me? Go find it, watch somewhere else. Because somewhere else going to tell you either we go into the moon without proving you anything or showing you anything in the chart, without actually providing you something, because all they care about is just to pump. Hey Eddie, how's it going? Panzer, hey, how's it going? Steven, sorry. So, hey guys, if crash is coming and is happening tomorrow, and we're not getting by the end of the month to at least 58,000, come on down to my house and shoot me. Then I'm wrong, but at least I'm willing to put my life, bet my life on it. Hey, we might actually have a bounce for 2 3 days. The bounce might bring us down to, I don't know, 44,000, maybe 42,000. But by the end of the month, or if not this end of the month, by mid-September, we have to be at least at 65. I personally believe by mid-September, October, we're probably going to be between 85 and 100, 120,000, somewhere in that area. Because we have to be in a hurry to build that head. Because all I'm seeing right here is, I don't see a hip, unless this considers to be a hip. All I'm seeing here is possibly a shoulder or a hip. So that means we need to climb up. And if you look at this chart, this chart is telling us target is 58,000 at least. Now, you're asking, so what should I do? If you want to day trade, more than welcome to. Day trade, be smart, be wise. Pick your trades, pick your coins, and day trade. If you're a swing trader, I would actually recommend you get into something. Try to get into something that is low when it's bouncing down, and hold until you're convinced we are coming down. And if you're a investor, go watch my video in the training course on investor. You should be buying. You should be holding some for the bottom, but rest of it you should be buying and adding a monthly or weekly, whatever your paycheck is, and whenever you can afford to add. But you should be regularly adding to your portfolio while holding a little amount for towards the bottom, so you can actually outperform your hold with that little amount that you're going to buy at the bottom. Now, when is the bottom coming? I told you guys when they're going to start covering up what's truly behind this happening behind the scenes, and they do not want you to figure that out. That means we're going to start having massive problems starting somewhere September, October, November, and it's going to last through the winter at least, if not next 2 years. Can they actually hold the market down that low? No, I'll tell you guys they can't. They will destroy the stock market. They will destroy some other markets as well. But crypto, I personally believe, is somewhat a safe haven. Yes, it will drop like a rock with all rest of them. But then when the people will look at it, they'll jump to gold, and gold is just going to do the same thing. It's going to drop. Now, when some news will come out about the truth about the gold, people will look for alternatives. Platinum, stones, diamonds, all that will be covered, including in that news. So, what is going to be the only option left? The only option will be left is to go to something. See, when crypto drops, I personally believe we will have about 5-10% of the coins survive that drop. And that will become obvious. If you guys look at the history of some of these coins, I actually put together a list here, top 8 priority list. Solu, ADA, and Luna are the 3 coins so far proven to be. Look at that. They already outperformed the last high. they already turned that into a hip or a shoulder. ADA, same thing. They turned, if you look at ADA, they turned this into a hip, not even into a shoulder. Luna, same thing, either a shoulder or a hip. I'm seeing on all three of these coins, I'm seeing all this to be a hip, not a shoulder, not a head. So that means we are going. But that means we have limited time because when when they're starting to going to start a cover up, if these coins fall behind, they'll be zeroed out and forgotten about. So far, I see three coins that actually have a chance of survival. Let's look at the top coins too. Those are the coins actually I've been looking at and trying to study in the last 2 days when I have a chance. Here's your second category. Those coins that have not broken last high yet. For these coins, this might be a shoulder. So FTM, Ether, which I don't believe Ether actually will survive due to the prices, but man, they might pull off a magic and if they decide to be actually reasonable at one point and stop ripping people off on gas on fuel because the way the system they designed it to rip people off. It was actually designed from day one how they build a system and put a plan. Matic, One, Raven, Vito, XRP, Alice, and our SRM. I'm not even sure what coin is SRM and how this coin actually ended up on my list. So, and possibly Atom. These are the coins that actually are set have a second chance of survival. Hey Jamie, good morning all. So that's a second group. Third group of top coins, and these are the coins that are marginal. Might survive, not might not. Sushi, guys, and this list might be altered as we continue because as we continue moving forward, uh, we will see what survives. But looking at this first dip, and I'm already looking at performance. Sushi, 1inch, Ava, Algo, Bell, BNB, BTC. Okay. BNB only will survive if Binance system survives. Bitcoin, again, like I said, some of these coins out of this list will not survive, and Bitcoin cannot survive. And here's the reason why you just need to understand why I believe Bitcoin cannot survive. Because if Bitcoin survive, rest of the coins will still be forced to be attached to the coin and follow Bitcoin. So in order for those coins actually become free and start running on their own and sending their own targets and picking the days when they're going to go down and when they're going to go up, which normally that's what actually should be happening in the market, Bitcoin has to cease to exist. So it is on the list, but I'm not sure that it is a survival. That's why I said some of these coins might not survive, and there might be some coins that will be added to this list as we see further how it's fit. Seller network, Dent, DGB, Dot, HBAR, Link, MRK, and Uni, and in possibly Engine. So these are coins that I'm seeing possibly will survive through this huge crash of all markets, which I'm suspecting to start somewhere towards the end of September. If not September, then October, November. See, I'm suspecting our New Year's to be, unless they will try to decide to save the holidays and start it after holidays. But here's something: military is scheduled to start being put needle in all of them, or they'll have to resign. somewhere in September. That means in October, they'll come out and start knocking on the doors. November, which means it will piss people off. They'll need to start covering that up. So if it's not going to start with the military getting needled, then it's going to start with the military starts knocking on the doors. And when that's going to start happening, they'll need to start covering up the truth. Because end of the day, it's all about Georgia Guidestones. You guys know what I'm talking about. If you guys do not know, join the Discord channel, which is description in the bottom, and you guys, and I'll share and I'll explain that because I cannot do that here on YouTube. They will not allow me to do that. They will destroy it and they'll kill this channel, and you guys will never hear from me again. I cannot share that information here, but I can share it somewhere else, and I will if you guys allow me to. So get down there. Now, that's why I'm calculating between mid September and October, November is where I'm suspecting this to start. But if they decide to stretch this and save the holidays, which means whatever actually starting the second wave will still be destroying the holidays. So I'm not actually. So here's a part that I actually still have a hard time pre-calculating and prejudging because of the holidays coming up, and also the second wave is coming. But they will need to cover the results of the second wave in a form where you'll be distracted. And instead of thinking about the second wave, instead of thinking about the needle, you'll be thinking about your money. You'll be thinking about your financial situation. And they'll do it in a way where you will be ready to sell your soul just in exchange for $1 so you can go to the grocery store and buy food. That's how bad it's going to be. They will repeat what they did in Europe in 1940s and 1930s. My family was involved. Long Deep family was involved in 1940s death, where people were leaving gold on a table and saying, "Eat it," and they went back, been laid down in a bed and waited when their life's going to end from hunger because they had no energy left to do anything else and there was nothing to eat around. See, 1940s was a test. And now they're going to carry out worldwide what they did in Europe in 1940s. Certain parts of the world, Europe, not all part of the Europe. There were towns that nobody survived at all. I'm not talking about villages. I'm talking about towns that nobody survived. Yes, I hope they won't delete this channel because I win actually, and I said things that I should have not say. They don't will like it what I just said. So the question is, how badly is going to get? How much are you prepared? Because this thing will turn around. I personally believe when you read in Revelations, you won't be able to buy nor sell if you do not have that needle that everywhere they're talking about. Because just imagine if you have no needle, they won't allow you leave the house. They won't allow you go to the grocery stores. Could there be a possibility that an interpreter improperly interpreted that area? Could it be possible that God's gene that they're trying to kill in the needle is actually the number or the name of the. Could it be possible? Guys, I grew up in a Christian family. But I'll tell you guys one thing. There's a lot of flaws. At, to a certain point, I believe everything literally was written in that book. But then I started questioning why certain things are not matching. And I started searching. It says in it, jeez, I forgot. James, I believe. It says, search and dig, and the one that digs will find a stone. That doesn't mean you need to take what you were taught, what you were preached in church, what the religion tells you to believe. You need to dig yourself, find the truth, find the rock, and then only then you can build your belief and your faith on that. Anything less than that, you're building on someone else's faith, on somebody else's belief. And the question is, did he at least dig, or he actually built on someone else's? You guys might be all building on the 10, 15, 20 levels of someone else's actual dig. The question is, did that truth that he discovered when he digged actually got to you? Or maybe that truth was flipped around and turned into who knows what, and right now you believe completely, you have no clue what you believe in, but you still believe in it. Did you dig yourself? Did you look? It says to, research everything and hold on to the truth. Did you research everything out there? Or you just claim this is the only truth? See, I'm having the same problem with my parents. They're refusing to dig. They believe that whatever they grew up in is the only way and there's no other way. And whatever is written by the power of complete above. But if it's written by the power of complete above, why certain areas of this of the four gospels are completely conflicting each other? See, I believe the same way as my parents still do. That's been written by the Almighty. But now, if it's written by the Spirit of the Almighty, He cannot allow a mistake to be printed. That means every time the Bible is reinterpreted, every time that we have a new version of the Bible, it should never have been changed. Why the King James and the New International are completely two written books, just with the same possible stories? I ask you, why those two books, like it's almost a stranger to each other? So the question is, see, if I would be a God and I gave something to people as the sole truth, I would make sure that sole truth never get altered. There would never be a multiple versions of it. There would never would be interpretations so beyond that you cannot even, you're reading like completely a different book. See, we had 4 or 5 watchers just about 5 minutes ago. As I touched the Bible, as I touched the scripture, 4 or 5 of you left, only one of you still listening. Yeah, it's hard to hear the truth. It's hard to go dig yourself. It's the easiest thing easy to do is to just type it on YouTube or check in once a week at the church. And the whole week you forget that God even exists. It's the easiest thing of it all. But end of the day, when your days are done, when you complete the mission or the period of time you were assigned, you will need to meet your maker. You will be also unlocked your past. You remember things that you are not allowed to remember right now. And God is not going to judge you. He'll just look at you and you will judge yourself because you will look at the purity of the most purity The purity that has never seen or touched the sin, has seen but not touched the sin. It's purity that actually never got involved with the sin and never got involved with you, even though you call him your father. And you will judge yourself at that point. Every single person that actually came across your life will be your judge. When you said it's impossible to live a holy life, but then you're gonna look, then you're gonna immediately remember that other person that you actually live with, maybe as a neighbor, or maybe as somebody else, and he will remind you and say, "But he could. Why you couldn't? If he could, you sure could have you." Guys, I started with the crypto, but guess it's leading the other direction, the direction of side that I should be doing long time ago. I'm not sure what I'm doing crypto, but I also believe there is some of you out there that need to be saved financially because you guys are crying to God for mercy, for help, because you are losing. You have not seen a successful month. Every month that passed by, you see another loss. And then you end up watching channels that actually stole an opportunity from you going up. Tom, I do apologize. That I might be directing this thing at you as well. But it is the truth. Maybe you got your account 20, 30, 40% growth. But how about most of your listeners? Have they got that 30, 40% growth? A lot of the coins has doubled by now. Some of the coins actually didn't triple, and one of the coins actually went 5 times the price from the from the time we hit bottom. The bottom, we call it 29,000 Bitcoin. See, it's not about just reading the chart. It's about also listening to inner you. And if you have God's mercy, also listening to God's voice that's inside of you as well. So maybe I'm doing the crypto just because of some of you, to help you. And then the rest of you are actually taking advantage of that as well. And I'm telling you, be blessed, because it says, because of my people, everybody's getting rain. I'm sorry, I'm interpreting from Russian to English, so it will not be a word to word, but a kind of an idea. So I know there's chosens out there. Hopefully, you guys will eventually hear this message. If you guys are not already hearing this message, search the truth, dig deep. I'll give you guys an understanding what I discovered within the last week or two, and I'll share with you guys later. Where's that pen future? You have a circle. Oh, sorry that this is very, very ugly circle. Then you have another circle inside. Then you have a third circle. The inner circle is the ones that actually got so holy, they've growth into the full spiritual man, full growth of the spiritual man. The material things no longer has effect on him. Those are the people actually got to the center. They're not going to be a lot of those. That's why it's the most smallest portion. They're the ones actually in the presence of God and everything that is of God. And the world outside of them mean nothing to them anymore. They're living here today and they disappear tomorrow, and we don't even notice that they disappeared because we're scared of them, because they're the ones that have power to turn everything in the direction of their choice. They're the ones that are actually judging us. Those are the ones inside. Then we have sections right here, broken into thousands. These sections are called various different religion. And when I seen various different religion, I literally mean Muslim, Christianity, Judaism, uh, Catholics, Pentecostals, Baptists. Uh, those are in Japan. Geez, I forgot. Then Hinduism. Uh, just all the religions of the world are outside in this outside circle. They all is a first step for you to start with. So if you're gonna go and look for another religion to join, because you're no longer satisfied with your religion, or you found problems in your religion, guess what? You'll go to another religion. You'll have to find the same problem. It's just going to take you a while to find them, because you'll need to learn the religion first. You need to test that religion out. So all you're going to do is going to be just going around in this outside circle. But when you start digging, God will reveal you the inner circle right here. This is a circle of transformation, circle of becoming different, circle of learning to live differently. God will start showing you His truth, and eventually you will turn into this perfect, fully grown, holy man or spiritual man, if I believe that's the way it's interpreted into English. So, this is not running around in the circles. You guys are wasting your time. It's about going in for the target. So, guys, I do apologize. Started with crypto, turned into preaching. But I'll tell you guys one thing. End of the day, it's this target. Who will survive? What's coming? And what might last for 3 more years? Because Georgia Guidestones have a certain number printed on them. So, to do some research, you guys will find out the number. Again, I'm not sure if I say those number, they allow this channel to last. But that number is quite small from the number we have right now. And everything that they're doing right now is for one purpose. Those of you that already been at Discord and watched the video, you guys know what I'm talking about. Those are were not there, definitely join Discord, and I'll direct you to that video. Yes, days are great, but at the same time, for majority of people, there will be a hell on earth. I want you guys to see the light. I want you guys to find the light. I want you guys to find the truth. I want you guys to find the true God. Interpretation. Okay, Всевышний in Russian, in English would be Almighty or Всевышний. All High. There's a couple things that I have discovered about an all high, and us as humans. He's only opened or welcoming to the circle, to those people in the circle, to those right here. He looks at us, and you guys will be disappointed. I knew about all high for quite some time, but for a long time I was looking for an answer. How is he responding to us? I am not gonna tell you guys this in this video because you guys won't believe it if I say. But keep in mind, these are the group of people that he loves. So, as I said in the past, I'm seeing this as a shoulder or a hip, which means we have a lot of territory to cover between whatever this is and where it's going to go. And not a lot of coins going to make it down there. I'll be straightforward and honest. I would recommend you guys to watch this list of coins right here, Ada, Luna, and Solar. Some of you guys believe that XRP, I believe XRP is on the list number 2. Yes, some guys believe XRP is the future. So watch the XRP, how it turns out. But see, at least on XRP, we do have the hip. So now on XRP, this might be the shoulder. So then that means if that's the shoulder, we'll have a head somewhere in the area of 250 to $3. Because at least we have the hip right here. See, but if you look at the ADA, it doesn't have a hip. Here's a hip, most likely. That means ADA is going build a shoulder and probably going to build a head right there. But again, it's coming. And when it's coming, we need to be ready. We need to make sure that those of you that want to, have that plan B, because crypto, I believe, is your plan B. I have no clue what is plan A. I have no clue in myself. How am I going to be surviving all this? I personally think, for the next couple more months, I'll be here on YouTube and probably will be switching over to maybe preaching or something on this channel and turning out into trying to get you guys ready for what's coming on both sides, on the spiritual side as well as on material side. And I think I'll be probably one of the first out and checked out from here. But again, I have no clue. I know one thing: I was born for a reason. The dark side tried to destroy me multiple times throughout the life, which I know I'm here for a reason. Even if that is only for one soul out there, I'll do this for that one soul. So that's what I believe about crypto. I believe, hey, don't take me wrong. Look at how many times went up, went down, went up, went down, went up, went down, went up, went down, up, down. So don't get me wrong. We will still have rebounds, but we also will be traveling up. Look at today. Let's go to open Bitcoin and let's go to 1 hour. Reset. Look at Bitcoin. Went up, came down. So that means we'll have a perfect run up? No. There's no such a thing as perfect in any market. We always will see ups and downs. Somebody said something very interesting to me a couple months ago. If crypto doesn't breathe, if it doesn't go up and down, there is no heartbeat then. That means it's dead. It's fake. That means All they're doing is like trying to revive somebody. End of the day, if they fail reviving it, what happens next? It's just bunch of a dead body. There's nobody in it anymore. So that's why we have these movements. We have them on a 1 second. You can see it. We have them on 1 minute, on 5 minutes. See, you can call them breeze or heartbeats, but that's telling us that at least it's a living organism. Even if it's manipulated, it's still a living organism. You can see that on 30 minutes. You can see that on 1 hour. You can see that on 4 hours. You can see that on daily. You can see that on weekly and even on monthly. See, those movements always will be there and they will never change. And be appreciative for those movements because they're confirming that it's still worth putting your money into it. Because the minute it goes flat and heartbeat disappears, that's when it's time to run. So, guys, uh, if you're seeing a big crash, which eventually will start coming, where, I personally believe we'll be coming down from somewhere right here, and we'll have the big, big candle coming down to about right here. I don't know, probably here, and then it's gonna bounce again further down to about here. When you're gonna see that, hey, that's your monthly heartbeat or monthly breath taken. So hey, that's normal. It's just it happens only once every couple of years. But like I said, we I don't believe we're here to do a double head or we're here to build a shoulder because that's not a shoulder that we're building. Where's the shoulder on the left side? Look at the monthly. Where's the shoulder on the left side? There's no shoulder on the left side. I don't see the shoulder. See, if you're talking about major, major crash, you should be able to see the complete play out on monthly, on weekly. I know. This time they're going to make it fake it. They're going to repeat what's been done in 1940s in Europe. But even in that means they'll never complete a pattern and it's going to happen. And a lot of people going to scream, oh, the pattern has been completed. Really? So this is a hip, this is a shoulder, this is a head. We built a huge shoulder on the right side. On the left side, we had almost none. Oh, then we have a big candle, just drops down. Okay. Now, I would like to invite the whole scientists of the whole world to interpret it to me and explain to me how does that happen? I agree it was manipulated, but honestly, it was not natural. If we have a shoulder that is 2 candles wide, and I'm not counting this candle because this candle is just a movement, then we should have at least 1 candle wide past of the movement up. Let's go to weekly. We have something here, right? We have a head that's slightly slanted to the top, if this we call it a head. Tiny shoulder here, huge shoulder here, already far past its height. Sorry, there's the alarm is kind of in our way. And then we do a drop. Again, I need scientists to explain to me how is that works on a psychological level. Because end of the day, even though it's manipulated by market makers, but at the end of the day, market makers are humans, which means they still have psychology. That means the chart's supposed to print their psychological moves. See, the only people that are not considered to be humans are the ones controlling us from above. And I'm not mean God. There's a couple families that questionable who they really are. And yeah, they might be in human bodies, but they're definitely not of our design. Yeah, those guys you cannot print on the chart. Even if they were actually physically trading crypto or any other market out there on charts, yeah, we would actually even see their psychology. But they're the ones usually directing, and they're directing humans, and those are actually we can read on charts. So yeah, I don't see psychological print to say that we this is a shoulder or this is a head or a double head. Which on double head there might be possibility because of this area right here. Might be a possibility. But then the question about some of the coins I showed you that actually went up. They're actually against everything and all. That's what shows and prints out here. So guys, go back, listen to from the beginning, be smart, be wise. Go back to my playlist, Training by Slavic D, Crypto Trading, Training by Slavic D, or something like that. And also, you can find it in description. It's the first one from the pre-playlist that's in the description. You'll find videos, and this video will be added into that collection because it's also a part of the training, also part of the forecast. Even though I kind of mixed crypto and religion and spiritual and God all together in one, and I do apologize that for some reason it just happens. And end of the day, make your wise decision. Yes, in some of the first videos you'll watch in that playlist, I did believe we are coming to a dump early. Now we are at 49. As of right now, 48.7. And again, as I said, we might get a rebound. At the end of the day, we're going to push up. We need to close this month at least at 58, 59,000 so we can start September moving further up and start building ahead. But at the same time, we are running out of time to build the structure. So if we're going to have a crush, it's going to be right in the middle of building the structure. You won't know it. I won't know it. And the only people will take credit for that crash is the ones that been calling about it. But when it comes down to the chart, when it comes down to structure, they cannot prove it because there is no structure to confirm this crash other than just seeing it what happening in the financial world and what they're trying to cover up. That's the only proof there is and there will be for the upcoming. So don't waste your time asking me. And I'm not directing at certain people. Hey, if you don't understand, I try to help you. I try to point you at the right video so you can actually understand what happens, so you can actually have a better chance. But don't waste your time sitting on sidelines waiting on the 28th of August to hit 20 cents an XRP or 30 cents an XRP, or as someone we had it on YouTube, on this YouTube couple of videos in the past. We were actually doing an exercise, and we came up to the 5th of September. Again, I asked that person answered based on what they understood what I was asking, which I'm not sure they even understood the question that was asking and how that question I directed. So it's not their fault that they answered those questions inaccurately. But it's a good lesson for them, because when they wait for the September 9th, two things will happen. Either it will become reality in their life, or it's not going to become reality in their life. But end of the day, like I said, it's not in our hands. Our opportunity is now. But again, if you want to play safe, wait until we break over 50, because I believe breaking over 50 is going to be a huge. And I also believe breaking over 50 possibly will be happening this upcoming week. But remember, end of the day, market makers are doing the choices. What are we doing in the short run? Where are we going in the short run? But there is a group of people, and that group is very, very small. They're the maker decisions of what happening on a large scale. And they're trying to carry out the plan of George Guidestones. But at the same time, they need to have a cover up. And what is the best cover up than taking food away from you? That is correct. And food, to take away food from you, that means either create a famine or create financial crisis where you cannot afford to buy. You might have it on the shelf, but you won't be able to buy. See, as I said in the past, when a companies like Microsoft and a bunch of others that are traded on the stock market, when they get to a point where they no longer be able to open the doors, and you get 30% of population flocking unemployment, can unemployment pay? Can government actually send checks? And then they say, you know what? Here is a $15,000 or $20,000, which should get you through the next 4 months or maybe next 5 months. But in exchange, we need your shoulder. And that's when you're going to make a choice. Do I give him my shoulder so I can have money to continue living? Or I don't give him my shoulder and then I make a choice between that life or death. And then you guys going to learn how to put your life in the hands of God and have mercy, because it says in the Bible, somewhere in the Old Testament, in prophets or Proverbs, I believe, or Psalms, that I have not seen a holy man hungry. So that's going to be the choice. And a lot of us will have to face it. See, saying no right now when nobody's banging on the door is the one thing. Saying no. See, the story that I showed you guys about a little bit less than a week ago, about a friend in Florida, got me realize of something. Also, who showed up at my house, with a mixture of everything together. I realized something very interesting. God is preparing me so when somebody do show up and want to demand something from me, I won't care. So here's actually my answer. Come and actually knock on my door. I'm not talking about you guys, the listeners. I'm talking to those people in uniforms. Come. When you come and knock on my door and you demand me to give you my shoulder, this is going to be my answer. Pull that gun out of your holster, put it in my forehead, and pull the trigger. Because that's the only way you're getting my shoulder and shoulder of my wife and a child. A month ago, I would have never been able to say that. I would be scared. Today, I don't care. I have nothing to lose. But you're not getting my soul. You're not destroying the God's gene in my body. So you want it? Only after you pull the trigger. So some of you need to learn to do it the same way if you want to get through this time. Hiding in the mountains won't save you. Hiding in the forest won't save you. They have equipment and satellites in the sky that actually can track every single heat out there. So they'll find you. But getting up in front of them and looking directly into their eyes and saying, pull the trigger, is the only thing that will stop them in their path. And they'll look at you as a crazy one. They'll check you off the list as the one not to mess with. And they will walk away in the form of running. They will make it look like they're running, but they'll be running because they'll be scared that you might actually turn around and do the same to them, what you just told them to do to you. And you better be off being crazy than actually giving them what they want. See, this is the one part I still cannot answer. When they destroy the God's gene in you, that's the part I still don't answer. Can your soul still return to God? That's the part. Or maybe they're hunting not to actually take your body. Maybe they're hunting to destroy the soul in you. Remember, I mentioned about zombies a couple videos ago? See, zombies no longer have a soul. Think about that. Think about it. What is the true target? Is it truly the Georgia Stone guidelines, or it's actually maybe a lot more further? Maybe they're after something that you cannot afford to lose. Guys, end of the day, like I said, crypto is a plan B for you to survive. Possibly if you be able to send money between wallets, and then those that actually gave the shoulder to come out and actually deliver food to your house, because you won't be able to get out. You'll be marked as the crazy one, but that doesn't mean that God won't provide somebody to feed you. When I believe Elijah prophet went into the mountains or the desert, remember exactly, God sent a bird and he delivered meat from the king's table for the prophet to eat. So if God can demand birds, wouldn't he figure out a way how to feed you and me? But we need to prove to him, we need to show to him that we are worthy, we are different, we don't sell off. We are not the betrayers, and we are not the traitors. And the only ones can actually do that is the ones that actually found through him. Remember that circle that I showed? Was it here? I don't remember where I had it. I had the circle somewhere in one of the charts. Not here anymore. Remember, guys, the circle? are the ones that inside, the ones that actually searching and searching for the truth. They do not care anymore what they were taught, what a religion they're in, what domination they're a part of. They no longer care what they inherited from their parents, from their loved ones, from their families, from whatever. They got tired of it all because they were eating all that, and they were still left hungry on the in the spiritual side as they went out, continued living their life. They were start realizing things do not match up. That the 2 plus 2 turns out to be 6 or 3, but it's not the 4. Those are the ones that actually tried living the purest life, and they even got the taste of it. I tell you guys, I did. But then for some reason, you got dragged back and you want to go back to it. But this time, when you go back to it again, you're no longer finding yourself in your own church where you actually intended all your life. That church becomes a stranger to you, and you're looking at it, and you're like, why? Why? That's where my family is at. That's where my parents are at. That's where my whole generations of families were at. But why am I finding myself stranger here now? Why does something that I cannot explain becoming more of me and I'm becoming more of it? You start seeing yourself completely in a different room. Rome. Yes, that's our target. See, when you start reaching those levels, the material things no longer becomes the question because it says, "Don't worry about the tomorrow day. The tomorrow day will provide itself." I guys will tell you a testimony from 2008 when Boise, Idaho market, which was first holding first or second place in the world. I'm sorry, in the country, I believe, not the world, in the country of where you can invest, the best place to invest in real estate. We blew up so big of a balloon of a bubble that when it burst, I by if you would have asked me a couple more months, I probably would have still called the month. I believe in the month of July. I might be wrong now. Of 2006. Actually, the crash of 2006 because it happened 2 years earlier than the crash that happened throughout the country. We closed so many in construction close permits. I believe it was 2 or 3 thousand permits. That was the highest record. We put so many new homes on the market that the market couldn't swallow to sell it. So it had no choice but to burst. At the time, I was actually in construction building homes. And when all that collapsed, started collapsing, and I decided to liquidate everything and sell everything at whatever price I could just to walk away. I did walk away. But the bills, and when you have a business and you close a business, the bills still follow you, and they sometimes will follow you for months and maybe years to come. That's why a lot of people file bankruptcy to cut that following. So for 2 years, I have no clue where the money was coming from. But every single month, I would have enough of money to pay my bills. Next month comes, I had no longer had any business, but I had a refund from there. I got a refund from there. I got a refund from there. And those refunds and those money that were coming in, they just covered every single month for 2 years. That day I lost in faith and I said, I no longer know how to move forward. That month was the first month that I couldn't pay my bills anymore. But until the, but until that day when I lost faith, I had no clue for 2 months. How am I going to pay those things? But money would come regularly. And one of the month, I had a guy that shows up at my door and says, "You know what? You did a job for me, and at that time, I scammed you, and I didn't pay you, and we fought in court, and even the court ordered me to pay you. I still refused to pay you. I pulled everything possible not to pay you. But this morning, I woke up and I had a dream. I'm not going to go into detail of the dream. So his understanding was that he has to come and write that check. And since he wasted so much of money, he said, I'll double what I owed you. In addition to that, I'll refund you all the time and court fees and attorney fees, everything. If I don't remember correctly, that check was enough for me for 5 months to cover my expenses. So, tell you guys one thing: he is alive, he is real, and if you search for him, he has no problem taking care of you. So, guys, this lasted over an hour, like usually all good lives that I have. Blessings to every single one of you. I wish every single one of you knew him and followed him and served him and done things that you need to do to dig deep and find your and build your faith, not on somebody else's belief, but now on the beliefs where he will give you. Bless you and your family, and I'll be back.